sometimes actually I love going to the Bluebird and the listening room and shows in Commodore, not for what the singers are singing about, but what they say between songs. Sometimes when somebody's introducing a song, I think, oh, that was really cool, and they've no idea they said it. Arlo Smith one night at Douglas Corner, he was saying, "Oh, thanks, man. That was really great. I think it was right after Maybury was number one." And he said, "Oh, thanks so much for that, man. You're my church." And I went, "Ooh, I like that." And I called Dwight Lyles and went, "What about this for an idea?" He went, "Oh, I love it." So I sat reading. There's a book called The Word Menu that I got from NSAI, and it lists words under subjects. So I just went to the church section and found all the words I could find that seemed really cool for churches. Then I went to a rhyming dictionary and I got all the rhymes I could find for church. So when Dwight came in, we pretty much wrote the song fairly quickly, because for me I had all this information down there, and I don't normally do that sort of thing. I know there are writers who research and they get words and they get phrases and they get ideas. I tend to just get going and see what comes up. But on this song I had all sorts of ideas down. So that was just something that Arlo said. One of the songs that's been very successful for me since I moved here is called I'm Not Ready Yet. And I can't even remember writing it down, but the first Christmas I was here, I found a post-it note, and it said, "I'm not ready yet." And it had all these little spider lines from it, and it was just saying, I'm not ready to, get married, to have a baby, to die, country song, got to throw that option in. So I had all these things about what, I'm not ready, you go ahead without me, I'm getting changed, all that stuff. And it took me 2 months writing every day on that song to write it. But Bobby Braddock told me it was a great song, so it's like, oh my God, Bobby Braddock told me that's a great song. I'm good. And somebody told me a few months ago that they could hear some stuff and they'd really like to help me rewrite it. And I'm thinking, Bobby Braddock told me that's a great song. Bobby Braddock wrote amazing stuff. I mean, he wrote probably the best country song ever written, so I'm not touching that, because somebody's going to cut that one day. So just things like that. It's just amazing. I mean, say little post-its. Sometimes I don't even know where I get the ideas from. Sometimes if you just sit still, something just comes to you, and sometimes they take forever to write. I wrote every day for 2 months on I'm Not Ready Yet, and even on the way to the studio, there's a line in the bridge saying she made the decision she thought was right. And even on the way to the studio, I'm going, you're an idiot. It should be choice, because that's the whole pro-choice thing. So she made the choice she thought was right. And it sang better as well, so it was like, okay, thank you. So most of the ideas come from sort of up there somewhere, and I just have to gather them in. And that some days it's my turn to get the good ones, and some days I get the ones that are like, seriously? Okay. So it is what it is. Some days it's just fun to be in a room with somebody. You don't get anything out of it, but the next writing session, you really rock and roll.